Hi, I'm Jen. I'm here for you. I essentially started this podcast um, to connect with a community, and I am starting fresh in my life. I'm in the process of going through a divorce. It's been 4 years, and I have been kind of in this place where I have been reflecting and trying to find um, other people kind of in similar paths. And I think for me, I've had this amazing story that I want to share with people. And I also think in ways my goal is to help others. And I think that means to empower mostly women, but anyone who feels like they could use a little bit of um, not change necessarily, but something to kind of motivate them to feel unstuck. Um, I have been so nervous to start this podcast. I do not like the idea of being on a video. I don't like this idea of talking to no one. It feels so scary to me. And I am doing it because this whole concept of mine is to start and go. And I can walk in a room. I've had dinner with the CEO of Disney and his wife. I was married to a CEO of another very large company, and I was presented many opportunities to kind of be in uncomfortable situations, and I didn't feel half as nervous as I do right now in this room by myself. I I don't know. It's something about talking to a camera that is a real gift and a skill. So bear with me. I'm gonna learn along as I go. But like I said, here I am. My goal is to motivate others and help people and form a community all around. Um, Kind of just like finding your confidence and trusting your gut and remembering who you are ultimately. There's a few things I want to talk about. So first and foremost, I kind of wanted to talk about why I started this podcast. I kind of built a life perfect. No, sorry, let's start over. So I want to talk about why I started this podcast. Today I'm here to kind of give that like basic intro and explain to you that my life has been essentially by the book. I kind of did all of the things that you're supposed to do in a playbook, right? Like I went to school and I did my high school and I was lucky enough to have a lot of friends and the cute athletic boyfriend and I played sports. I made my varsity teams. I was lucky enough to play Division 1 soccer. I went to this wonderful university. I felt very lucky to be a part of, and I went to the University of Colorado, which was amazing. They just won the third round, I think, in the NCAA tournament. So they're on fire right now, which is so fun to watch, and I'm proud of them. And the football program's been so fun to kind of come alive again with Deion Sanders coaching. It's a fun time to be a buff. But continue with my story. I studied business accounting, and I was courted essentially. I got recruited to work in public accounting. I got a job offer when it came down to it in Denver and one in Orange County in Irvine. And I ended up taking the Irvine one because I wanted to be back home. And with that, I was working for one of the largest firms in the country. I learned a lot fast. Again, got in front of a lot of people that were way outside my, you know, like above my pay range. But I felt I was good at it. And ultimately, my story is I was recruited to take a job with my one of my clients. Essentially, that's kind of how public accounting works. You end up kind of, anyways. It was a fun fit, young company. A few years later, ended up me marrying my ex-husband, and but during that period, I'm giving you the play-by-play of the playbook. Like, I did all the things. So I, you know, met the man, charismatic, charming, you know, doing well, all the things. We had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. It was a dream. We were able to vacation all over the world, and I created businesses, you know, alongside mom being a mom. And one day I just was looking at myself in the mirror, and I realized I lost myself along the way. The the perfect book kind of put me in a situation where I stopped being myself, and um, wow, I didn't think I'd get like emotional talking about it, but here we are. My ex-husband was not the right person for me anymore, and so from the outside, when I decided to leave, I told, you know, our inner circle of people, and many people were like, "What? We never would have thought anything was wrong." And it's crazy to think and replay the tapes, but there was like so many nights that were, you know, filled with tears, like in front of people, right? Like there are moments of things. I just did a really good job hiding it, and ultimately, we'd have people over, and I'd get, you know, there'd be words said prior to them walking in the door, and it would ultimately make me cry. And I'd go upstairs, and I'd, you know, put my smiley face on. I'd come downstairs, and I'd pour my wine. And I did that for a long time. And I finally realized it wasn't right for where my life was going and what I needed from my life. I just wasn't myself, and I wasn't happy, and I lost kind of like my powerful sense of who I was. So I left, and we're 4 years later, still not divorced. It's a process, and that can be a whole nother podcast, a whole nother day, but I'm working through it, and I'm trying. And I think for me, there's a lot of pressure to kind of keep the chaos in order. And once I've kind of shifted that and left others' chaos to be, I'm kind of finding myself and my voice again. And here I am, and I want to be here to share and connect through the process. I had, it's ironic because a lot of this like didn't feel like me moment kind of came right before COVID. And and maybe it's not, it didn't feel like me. It was kind of like, what am I doing? And I had this moment where I felt like I was like, I wasn't feeling strong enough and in myself and who I was. And so I looked in, you know, like I looked in the mirror and I said, what am I doing? What is happening? And the world shut down. There's a worldwide pandemic, and there's a lot of guilt and confusion. And is this right? Is this a sign? You know, what is happening? So that was like a pretty tumultuous year. But regardless of it, like I think my kids would say it was one of their favorites. You know, so I did a really good job, kind of still pretending. And I was just really ultimately holding it all together for everyone else. And that just has its limits, right? I left. I emotionally bought a house much smaller than I've lived in years across the street from my kids' school. And I'm like, I want to live right where their friends are. And so I got lucky enough to have this wonderful opportunity in an off-market home. And I've never loved living anywhere more than I do there. I mean, I have the most magical neighbors, like hiking trails, all the things. I hear the school bell ringing. It's a dream. And it's been a process, but now I have 2 dogs in my own house, and cabinets that are white. I wanted white cabinets like my whole life, and I finally have them. It's the little things that kind of remind you of who you are and the decisions you can make. And so I have, I've kind of taken this process slowly, and I have regained myself again. And with that, I think it reminds me of who I am at my roots, and that is a dependable, strong human being but with the intention of, a little bit of badass. And I'm just coming back to that. And I want to share with others, and I want others to kind of remember who they are and where you can also go. So that's what I'm here for. And so I also feel like as women, we're not doing a good job connecting with like the real stuff and the hard stuff. And I'm here for that. I think women in midlife are dealing with more things than most let on, if that's even just the emotional burden of having children or not having children, or working full time and raising kids, or the loneliness that comes with not working. Like, I think all these things are really hard in a lot of different ways, and I think life is messy, and I just want to be here to have those conversations. So now, I just want to provide, well, I guess what I would like to provide is honesty, support, and maybe a map, even when life doesn't give you one. That's the goal. Okay, now I'm bringing in one of my favorite humans. Let's shift into a conversation about actually rebuilding your life. This is going to get fun. This is the part where it gets fun. We're not supposed to do life alone. Surround yourself with people that will tell you, I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh, you're doing it. Like I've said it 1,000 times. I've been really nervous to do this, but I have had the best friends just saying, go, Jen, do it, which just feels so good. And I want to thank all of them for that. I really appreciate that, because sometimes you just need that little bit of extra touch of confidence to give you the full the courage, right? Like, this is a hard thing to do. All right, let's jump in. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk about the change, the hard stuff, and the rebuilding. Let's jump right in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
You're on my podcast. Would you like to would you like to talk to me for a few minutes while we wait for my next guest?
I would.
Oh my gosh, how fun. What? No, I'm like recording, so we can edit whatever we want.
This is so fun. I'm leaving for turkey bingo. Oh, okay.
What's turkey bingo? Tell me about it.
Oh my God, turkey bingo is at school, and you bring cans of food to donate. I think it's going to the Backpack Society, which provides food to kids who might not get a lot of food at home, and so they discreetly put food in kids' backpacks during the school day.
Ooh,
so that it's subtle, it's not very noticeable.
Yeah.
That they're getting this food discreetly put into their backpack to bring home for the night.
I love that. That's really sweet.
And so it's at the middle school, and so we go and we donate cans of food, and we get bingo cards, and then they win all sorts of prizes, and they win like turkeys and gift cards to places nearby, and
I love that.
It's really fun. I love it.
I love it. Okay, I have a question for you. What's one thing about me you think the listeners should know?
One thing about you.
Yeah.
You are extremely tenacious. You are extremely loyal. Loyalty is probably one of your biggest traits that people are most proud of. There's no question when somebody walks out the room if you have their back or not.
That's nice. Thanks.
You are very kind. You're extremely generous. You're extremely thoughtful. I mean, what? You're extremely hardworking. Where do we go with this list?
Oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you. That's so nice. I'm reading some messages on my phone, so I'm getting a little ChatGPT help with this conversation because we're recording. I'm waiting for my friend. So my first guest kind of didn't come, and then my other friends.
Why can't I be considered?
No, you are my first guest, but I just don't have it all prepped and ready for a long conversation. So we're gonna just run with this while I have a few minutes.
So is it live, or you're just recording and then you post your?
No, it's like no, it's where I'm not. live calling you. I no, like I'm sitting in a studio. It's like it's actually outside, like next door. Like I'm in an office building, a corporate office building, that is a headquarters for a wine distributor, and they have this beautiful, amazing podcast room set up. That's kind of like a dream. Like it's like very pretty. Like you'd be blown away with how cool it is. I have two big lights sitting in front of me, and I have three cameras like all on me. Um, and they're recording. So I have 2 hours here.
I think we should pick a topic for next time for you
No,
and I.
no, I think so. And we'll schedule it in for sure.
I think we should talk about what's like the theme of this.
Well, it's all about kind of finding yourself, empowering, connecting, kind of like how I did everything by the book, and I still ended up divorced and alone. Not, I mean, but just like rebuilding and reinvesting in yourself and believing who you are. So that's kind of like, but I also think it needs to be, like, I'm really passionate about having conversations about women and their midlife section, like their midlife journey. And if that means like you're working full time and raising kids, or supporting your husband and not working and raising kids, and not having kids while everyone else is having kids. Well, some people have teenagers and other people have toddlers, and being a woman in your midlife is a weird, unmapped territory.
Okay, I think that we talk about, and we have talked a lot about how to make friends as a woman.
Oh, I like that, Amy.
So why don't we do something like that?
I love it. I love it. Let me see. Hold on. I'm afraid my friend just walked in. Okay. Oops.
But I think we should do that.
No, I like that. I had one question I want you to answer just
before I go to Turkey Bingo.
Before you go to Turkey Bingo, what's one thing you're surprisingly proud of lately?
Ooh. I'm trying, oh gosh, surprisingly proud of. I'm trying really hard to make sure I'm taking care of myself, and recently I've prioritized well visits, mammograms, pap smears, blood work, and I've prioritized all of those things for myself, because a lot of women get very busy and wrapped up with doing all those things for everybody else, dentist appointment, and I've really prioritized those things in the past 3 months.
I love it. That's amazing.
Does that work? Is
Yep.
that something that works?
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks for taking my call. You're the best.
No problem. Have fun.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.